This is the video for Caesar's Gallic Wars, Book 5, Chapter 27, Part 1. It's really long, so I'm going to split it up into two videos. Okay. So, we have a verb here. Caesar doesn't often start with verbs, but he is here. So I'm going to see if there's a nominative anywhere. This is not. Aha, here we go. So, Gaius Arpinaeus, mititer, ad eos, and then causa colloquendi, that is a genitive gerund of purpose. So for the sake of, that's what causa means, for the sake of colloquendying. And then we have some things that describe Gaius Arpinaeus, which I know because they're also nominative. So Gaius Arpinaeus, an equus Romanus, and a familiaris of Quinti Tuturi. And then, here's another nominative. So these two are like two separate things. And Quintus Unius, quidam, a nominative, describing Quintus Unius, ex Hispania, qui, iam, ante, and then misu Caesaris. The vocabulary for this word tells me that misu Caesaris means sent by Caesar, so just go with that. Had consuerat tu ventitare ad ambiorigem. Apud quos, there's a note that says, and in the presence of those men, or you just say among whom. Ambiorix locutus est ad hunc modum, which in the vocabulary tells me in this way. What follows is going to be a very, very, very long indirect statement, or series of indirect statements. So if you recall, indirect statements are an accusative plus an infinitive. Now, of course, Caesar's not going to keep it that simple. He's going to add a ton of stuff in between those accusatives and infinitives, and there's a lot of those constructions. So, just try to figure out what the subject and verb of each of the indirect statements are. And don't expect to see any verb endings. Expect only infinitives, and don't expect any nominatives. Okay. So he locutus est. That means he said. Colon, that sese confiteri that he, and then there's a missing like say in here between these two. Debere. So this is an indirect statement inside an indirect statement. Plurimum tu ei, which refers to Caesar. And then pro Caesaris in se beneficis. Pro plus an ablative. Pro beneficis of Caesar in se, for himself. So se is referring to a subject, which is ambiorix. And anytime you see ei, it's going to refer to Caesar, probably, until that changes. And then here, I think this is because, and that's just from sort of reading it and figuring out which one I think makes more sense. And also there's no neuter singular in this part, so there's nothing to like refer back to. There's no antecedent. Because liberatus esset, he had been liberatus from the stipendio. This is either an ablative of separation or a dative of separation or something. Because of eius, this refers to Caesar, just like ei did, because of his opera. And then, now I can't imagine that Romans would be able to figure this out also, because I think it's pretty confusing, but I'm pretty sure this is a which quote, which refers back to stipendio. So that's confusing, and I don't know how Romans figured it out either, but anyway. Which he had consueseted to penderet to aduatikis, and then this is in a positive. This refers to ambiorix, finitimis. And because, so here we're back to a because clause. Et filius et fratris filius had been remissed ab Caesare, whom, quoth, the aduatuci tenuiset, apud se, apud usually means among or something, se, which refers to the aduatuci because it refers back to the subject, in servitute et catenis, and then missos describes quos, so missos in numero of, this is a genitive plural, obsidum. Okay, so that's part one of the indirect statement of the thing that he said. And que? That id, which, this is which, id quad facerit, he facerit de, which means like concerning the oppugnatione of the castrorum. This ne goes with the fecisse. So, and the subject of this is se, meaning ambiorix. That he did not fecisse id, quad blah 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 blah. Either by, these are ablatives of cause, because of judicio or because of his sua voluntate, said because of it, the coactu of the civitatis. Here's another ablative of cause. And that sua imperia, so sua again refers to ambiorix, esse, eius mode means of such a kind, ut, and then, so non minus haberet juris, multitudo is the subject, it's a nominative, that the multitudo haberet non minus juris, and there's a note on what juris is in se, and in here probably means for, and again se means ambiorix. Quam here means than, quam with a comparative adjective, than ipse, and we have to understand another verb, haberet, in multitudinem. Continuing on, civitati, this is a third declension, so this is a dative. So for the civitate poro, that hanc causam, that hanc fuisse causam belli, something along those lines. And I think this is a quod, because if it were a that or a which, it would have to refer to causam or civitati, which are the only, and it can't because both of those are feminine. So because, and then there's a note that says that the subject of potuerit is civitas, that the civitas could not potuerit, non potuerit resistere, to resistere the repetinae coniurationi of the Gallorum. Okay. We'll talk about what case those are and why. Continuing on. That se posse probare id, it, facile, which is an adverb, ex sua humilitate, this again refers to ambiorix, and this probably means that in reference to id, but I would hear arguments to the contrary, that And then he is the subject. He was and then adeo means so. So he was not so imperitus of rerum that he confidat, and here's an indirect statement inside a result clause, that the populum Romanum posset superari, which is a present active infinitive, so be superaried by suis copiis. And that's where we're going to stop. 10 minutes and 45 seconds in. We'll resume in the next part.